But since you did bring up OnlyFans, we heard the news
Good
this
segue,
week.
sir. Good segue.
Yeah, I try to do that. But the news this week was that they're shutting down all the porn and not the studio. They still gonna be existing.
Ain't no studio, sir.
Right.
Studios be streets.
But the website will still exist. The app will still be existing, whatever. But they just saying no, not safe for work. Adult content will be nudity, pornography will all be removed as of I think October 1st. I think it said.
First day of October, yes, sir.
So, how do you guys feel about that?
You want to go first on this one?
I think it's
I got these jokes.
I think it's overdue, actually.
What now?
I think it's overdue.
Hold up. We're going to have this discussion.
Why I say it's overdue is because I feel every few years is a new trend. There's always something new that's coming up. So, when everybody gets uproar about one thing, people just move to something else. Remember,
are you calling porn a trend?
No, the industry of porn isn't, but the different avenues are.
Okay.
Like, remember, you had Craigslist a few years ago. That shit got shut down. Up comes OnlyFans.
Well, that was more for the escorts and like the actual meetups. This is more just digital.
It's digital. We still show. We still, people still got meetups and so forth. You got their little premiere thing and content. You still selling ass. It's depending if you're touching it physically or not.
Okay.
So, but
I thought it was all, just watching, but
I mean, look.
You know something I don't know. How you know that?
I'm just saying, I'm on Twitter.
You out here subscribing.
I'm on Twitter.
How much did you contribute to the cause during the pandemic for the ladies that,
I added to the views.
For these women out here looking through different avenues.
I added to the views on Twitter. But that was about as far as I went.
Okay.
Because I'm not paying.
It was a good 3 seconds.
So you're saying OnlyFans itself is just a fad, so you think something else is going to come from it?
Exactly. Like, even I don't know what the aspects of it's going to be, but I even saw Tiger is going to start up this thing called MyStar. So, it's kind of like people are going to move to the next thing. It's like you shut down one business, you just change names, like how strip clubs would be one name today, and then they have a bad rep, you move to something else, and you set up shop there. So it's
What's your thoughts on it? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I think after that Bella Thorne shit happened, that kind of made things a little bit uneasy and so forth. Because that kind of put a big ass light to it. So you just move somewhere else.
I really want to ask, why do you think it's long overdue? Before I go to mine.
Because I think
like long.
Well, he said it's because it's a fad.
The whole way.
So you thought it was gonna end quicker? Because maybe the pandemic prolonged its time. Do you think that
the pandemic definitely prolonged its time?
Okay.
Because people are home. People nobody's working. Like I've been to stores. I've been to American Dream Mall in Jersey. All these stores not open. Why? Nobody's working.
So you're saying all of OnlyFans chicks didn't need real jobs?
Half of them didn't. Half of them weren't trying to. Half of them were just collecting unemployment or whatever they were doing, and then not really having a real job. You just, and I always find that funny because, like,
hold on, sorry. Let me interject. Now you're taking it too far. I asked you one question. You took it too far.
You took it too far.
First of all, those things, OnlyFans, that's a job.
It is a job. You have a statement there. Remember,
don't dismiss it.
Right, OnlyFans has to pay taxes, so they have to reveal how much money is being. So yeah,
it's a job.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a job that you think it needs to be. Yeah, but it's a job, right?
Money is exchanged.
Yeah. Now, you're going a little too far, sir. But I will agree that I definitely posted today about people women having to go back to
Hey, there's men on there too?
No, they are. There are some men there, but predominantly it's a women's game. But men are there too. And the funny thing is, yes, they have to get a real job. And I did see maybe one woman post, like the amount of money she was asking for before, now it went down to a discount price until October 1st.
Which to me sounds stupid though, because it's like, why would you discount it now, knowing this is the end? You think they're gonna spend more? Maybe is it closeout sale?
It's a closeout sale.
Yeah, but you need to stock. You need to. I mean, unless you're doing more for the less, and more people gonna keep coming back. I guess.
For the moment, I saw OnlyFans. I see women doing anything, but most women that even when they did interviews or you would watch these podcasts and women would say they had OnlyFans, some of them didn't have a conversation where they saw longevity. They didn't invest in themselves well. They just bought nice things that's when I knew this is not gonna last. Because eventually, people are gonna go back to work, or you know what, there's gonna be something new to look into or look onto. Yes, and you can always find a way. You don't have to pay or subscribe for something, because you know what, the internet's undefeated. There's always a way to see something for free. I'm sorry.
So here's the catch. To speak to your point and to say what you were saying about moving on to the next fad, do you guys know why OnlyFans is switching up their business model?
Nah, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I probably didn't care. I just thought it was too funny. I'm not gonna lie. It was too funny for me to care, because I couldn't stop laughing, and I think I just didn't want to look beyond it, because it was like, I need to see more people more worried.
Gotcha.
It was like, it was like the Joker flaming, like throwing gas on the money.
Right. And you said you saw why? Or?
I saw him, but I can't remember why. But
so the reason why, because I'm inquisitive, so I always want to know. Because at first when I heard, I think they said about a month ago that they said they were going to do it because they were having investors get involved that wanted to clean up the image of the actual platform. The real reason...
If you didn't know, OnlyFans is a British website where people around the world can pay creators to gain access to exclusive paywalled content. If you're not familiar with the content on OnlyFans, let's just say that it's normally, but not always, pretty adult. That made it especially surprising when the company announced that they'd be banning pornographic content, i.e. most of the stuff on their platform. So why are they doing this? And although it might sound like a pretty trivial story, you should really care, because this is bigger than you think. So on Thursday evening, OnlyFans announced that it will be banning, quote, any content containing sexually explicit conduct from October. While it turns out that there are a couple of non-pornographic creators, like chefs and yoga teachers on the platform, it is mainly porn. So why on earth would they ban their biggest revenue source? Well, the answer is that banks and payment processing companies, basically Visa and MasterCard, don't like the content on the site, so threaten to stop processing any payments. This is probably because OnlyFans has been facing growing scrutiny recently over its ability to remove illegal and exploitative material, including underage material. In fact, earlier this month, 102 US congressmen and women demanded a Department of Justice investigation into the site for precisely this reason. And the Children's Commissioner in England said that OnlyFans had to do more about underage material. In response to the criticism, OnlyFans produced their first ever transparency report this July, where it said that it had found 15 accounts hosting underage material and had deactivated all of them. But this apparently wasn't enough, because the payment processing companies still threatened to pull out, and this didn't really give OnlyFans any choice. Either they changed their content guidelines to appease Visa and MasterCard, or they lost the ability to take payments, which would obviously lead to the collapse of the company. And this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. Last December, Visa and MasterCard briefly banned payments to websites owned by online pornography giant MindGeek, following reports that it was hosting revenge porn, uploaded without the consent of those involved. The financial businesses only backtracked when MindGeek deleted tens of millions of unverified videos from its sites such as Pornhub. And it's not just porn either. PayPal banned gun-related transactions in 2002, and various other payment processing companies have stopped processing payments for certain drugs that claim to improve cognitive performance, known as nootropics. Now, while this might sound like a trivial story, it is only porn after all. It points to a larger problem. Payment processing companies have the power to decide what we can pay for, and therefore which companies can exist. There's no oversight, no appeals process, and perhaps most importantly, no democratic accountability. Again, we should stress that it's not that we love porn or guns or misadvertised unregulated nootropics. It's that a handful of companies, Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal, have the power to decide what you can buy. And given that basically every business today relies on digital payment processing, these companies can also decide which businesses can exist. It apparently didn't even matter that most of the material on OnlyFans was completely legal. If the payment processing companies don't like it, then that's the end of it.
So it's actually a bigger thing business-wise, because some would say, I wouldn't, but some would say it's infringing on amendments, First Amendments or what have you, the freedom of whatever to do what you want to do, whether speech or just performance, because they're not speaking much unless they got a whole role play skit. But it's the freedom of, hey, I want to present my body for monetary gains.
And all I understood was these strip clubs about to be popping again. No.
Well, it might, maybe strip clubs, you know what I'm saying, might, or another thing people are saying is that might be a rise of Bitcoin being the new currency for, or any crypto being the new currency, because if Visa and MasterCard don't want to be involved in the transaction,
cryptocurrency.
Right, there's plenty of cryptos. Bitcoin is the highest one, but it's valued at about $30,000, $40,000. I mean, for $30,000, $40,000, you my wife. You're not just going to be dancing on this. Hey, come here. Come home, boo. If I give you one coin, or it's going to be fractions of coins or what have you, but they're saying that might present a new opportunity for them to bring crypto onto more of these platforms, whether it's the Pornhubs and other sites that do have subscription memberships. They also have the free joints, like you said. There's also free porn on there, but a lot of people actually make a living off of uploading to those sites and, you know, receiving money on the back end.
Two things I could see. What he mentioned earlier about from moving away from OnlyFans, people will find another site to go to.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
For removing OnlyFans. For your point, see, if people don't know that, what he just said right now,
and a lot of people don't, because like you said, nobody looks further.
No one's looking further into why.
But I do, because I'm nosy.
It was more so people just went into the, I got to get real jobs.
Right.
Like, okay, well.
Because it's funny at first.
It was, and it's still funny now.
Yeah.
It's still funny now.
It is.
Until next weekend, now people are like, but why? Why is this happening?
And it's funny until you one of them people that subscribe, or you want porn, and you're like, all my porn is gone. What do I do now? Get a girlfriend? Go outside?
You should remember that even if you want to go back just a little bit more, that some of these women that actually did do it for money, for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. Some of them actually lost their jobs.
Yeah.
And we're talking about teachers who did this on the side. It was a side hustle, and respectable teachers actually got fired. And if we go down that, route, are we really gonna punish these women for doing what they either had to do or needed to do to make money now to survive? Like, well, I mean, because now, like, when I mean that is like, all right, so I'm basing it as if you was a former teacher, right? I don't know how this works, but you can't get your job back.
Right.
Like, how does this work as far as
if it's known that
yourself,
you were on OnlyFans?
Like, how does that work now? Putting yourself out there. If everything he just said right now that we're processing, how does this work now moving forward?
Because now you're a porn star. Yep. If it's known that that's what you did, that's your job now. Because every job now going forward is going to be like, no, we know what you did.
And they research.
They look into everything. And that's why I say
Google is everything at this point.
That's why I said this is going to be a bigger issue than we really thought it was, because
it ain't funny now.
All the credit card companies are saying we don't want to be involved in this industry.
Which is funny because, for years, like you would have like these, like, I mean, we have free porn sites, but before when you had like the bigger name, you still do have some bigger name porn sites, whatever, like they want subscribers. So now it's like, now are you using, like, how, if they cut the Visa and MasterCards and let's say Discover, American Express all want to gang into the same thing, so then it's like we're cutting into the porn market. You're right. The big daddy.
Right.
Market.
So not just the stars, like, you're cutting into the production companies and because again, porn is one of the biggest industries. Porn dictates technology.
Man, that's unless you use
PayPal. When VHS went to, PayPal's a part of that group as well that don't want to be part of it. So it's Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, they don't want to be. But like you said, like porn has been a big industry. DVDs became a thing because porn was put on there from the VHS, and then the internet kind of popped when porn became digital, and so a lot of Vince McMahon and porn create the medium of distribution of video. Vince McMahon with pay-per-view and all that stuff. Porn was pay-per-view. You had the Playboy channel and all that. Vince and porn is always the one who dictate what's our next medium of video distribution.
And if you look at any industry now, when all these corporations really want to sell a product, what's the first thing they're going to tell you? What's the fast thing to get money? Sex sells.
Yeah, sex sells.
So it's funny how just listen to all that, but y'all forget that sex sells and gets your money quicker. But now you don't want it to be a part of it.
Right, and I guess I forget the exact. It was a person that started this kind of thing, but they kind of, like I said, they grouped it all into the bad porn. I would say.
The dark web.
Yeah, you know,
Two
because
things.
like I said, there's people that do. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you know, like the I don't want to say the word, but the RAPE and the violent horns and things, and
It's basically what
they
men
group it all.
fantasize. What they fantasize.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not
and
gonna say
some
men, I'm
people
sorry.
have right. Some people
the
have
fantasies
that fetish.
of these categories.
Yeah.
Are so like taboo. They're like, you know what? I don't want that one.
Right,
We
but
want
they-
the soft porn.
but they
We want the
can't
Playboy
control.
book. We don't want the
And
hardcore
some
stuff.
of it is, you know, like I said, there's children that lie. There's you know, people that lie about their age, and it's the
Are you
trafficking.
18?
And,
Accept.
yes, right. So they're trying to not
Which
be
is true
affiliated
because
with
if
any
you
of that.
ever
So-
look and you be like, oh hell no, 'cause you don't want to be, you don't want anything to be grouped into whatever you see. You be like, nah, I don't like this. This is uncomfortable.
And we know some people, you know,
Lie.
like at Best Buy and stuff. If you got stuff like that on your phone or your laptop and stuff, they find it. The Geek Squad find it. Now you going to jail and you like, nah, I just watched that video, but I didn't know she was. You know what I'm saying? So just have it, and even YouTube, for example. I'm on YouTube, and they flagged an old video I had, and because a kid was not a kid was in it, but I forgot. I think I put a clip of something of a child, and the child wasn't doing nothing freaky. But there a lot of sites now cracking down on what children are involved with. Even YouTube changed their policies on. I don't even. Like I said, it's an old video, so I had to go back and look at it and see what are you talking about. It was a clip I added into it. It wasn't even like it was something we talking, and I put a clip to show what we were talking about.
I got it.
But because there was children in it, so a lot of them are cracking down. And like I said, it's them taking one thing with missing children, child trafficking, things like that, and then saying we got to crack down on this. So let's start with, and it's like that's the reason you're going with, like so.
I'm very confused.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
only
confusing.
confusing because how you want to crack down on something that you don't give no awareness to.
Right.
Like
And
people,
right.
people don't know. Like you
One
have
of the
no idea.
smallest stories of last year was they found like 40-something kids in Atlanta or something like that, or just somewhere in Georgia. Found a bunch of missing children. Canada, like different places. They don't
It's never spoken about.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially like when it's our people. Like we out here missing and we don't even know.
You still have a lot of women missing in Chicago, all over the world. You know, people get smuggled and so forth. And
They get smuggled into.
And it's something that gets brought up every now and then. Like because even back when we had the Pizzagate thing,
Right.
and then after that it became if you see certain items on Wayfair or whatever. And
So
it's
like certain names of the
certain,
different furniture.
like certain furniture will be like a code, or you'll see a regular ass like this corporate table is like $130 something. But if you see that same corporate table for like $10,000, it's a code saying that's really a kid you get. So there's a lot like this.
And a lot of times it gets played for a joke.
SVU
It gets played as a joke sometimes, but we don't know. It could be a cover up for the. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the internet. You don't know.
Right.
That's the thing about the internet. It's so hard to believe everything you see.
Because one hashtag could be a diversion for what's really going on.
True.
So.
But like one thing about OnlyFans, like that's like, even though I said it's overdue and so forth, I've always said it. I've said it in previous episodes. So I support sex workers. I believe
we know because you know about the. Okay,
I support strip
Man,
clubs.
was about to go a deep dark hole full of jokes, but you got it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No Cuomo. No
like,
Cuomo.
Well, Cuomo. But although
There's a
Cuomo, Cuomo de Blasio.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Cuomo de Blasio. Somebody made it actually legal for prostitution in New York.
Oh yeah, prostitution in New York. Yeah.
So
back to the streets.
But like I said,
off the web onto the streets.
But like I said, it's
Time
like,
to get that leg work in.
Right.
Like what you do with your body is what you do with your body. I don't care. Do it safe. I don't care. 'Cause that should be nothing that the government should tell you what you should do and what you can and cannot do with your body. I mean, there are certain things that yes, you shouldn't be selling your ass in front of a school. Like there are certain things you should not be doing, but that's also common sense that ain't so common in the world.
Because now all of a sudden a bunch of dads don't take the kid to school now. I'll take Junior.
I've actually seen that.
Let's see. I got him. I'll take him.
Well, first and foremost,
But
dads out here doing it. Let's give them their just dues for taking their kids to school.
Right.
But
Responsibility.
if there's some inspiration while they're going to the school, hey, have that thing.
I got him. I'll pick him up too.
No, don't worry about it. Don't you get out at 5? No.
I'm gonna take lunch. Go get him. And then
But it's all the way across town. No, don't worry.
For my son, anything.
I'm good.
I'm I'm gonna go get him.
You know Jenny from bookkeeping? She got me. No.
Right, I'm gonna go get my.
She gonna make sure I'm good.
I'm gonna go get my
I'm
child.
gonna pick my child up.
No child left behind.
But no, it's a sad situation, you know, for those who actually treated shit like this was their only hustle.
Yeah.
And if you think that's just gonna be your only hustle, you're kind of short sighted, because you should know. Even though that was one thing I actually want to say is like that kind of thinking of child, you know, like sex working means child pornography, throw everything in one box. It's no different than how people have this irrational fear of thinking Islamics mean terrorism, or how guns mean evil, or whatever. Like, if that's the case, then you should equate. If that's shit, you know, that's the case, then you should equivalent white people with evil too, because that's fucking KKK and whatever. Like, or even going back to like other shit. But still, it's like if you put your thoughts into one thing and not try to think outside the box into it, you're only going to just stain your view of the world. And that's kind of like what this whole sex working thing is like. You can't throw everything in one box.
Right.
Especially that. Like, I get, you want to protect children. Absolutely. I'm all for that. I have nieces, you have nieces, you have, you know, you have a daughter, a stepdaughter, whatever, you know. But it's like, I get it. We all want to protect children. All for that. However, what's the best route? What's the best route for everybody, instead of thinking that's my way of doing it and everybody has to go that one way only. Like,
stop porn.
And you can't. And you're not gonna stop the $1 billion industry.
Right. They think they will.
You can stop child porn, yes, but you can't stop that $1 billion machine.
To dispute your point, some of these young-minded women, or even older women now, some of them actually think that OnlyFans was the move. It was like that way, and it was. I understand some of us think like that was for the moment. Paul brought up a very good point earlier about, COVID, we stood home. So you know what? Some women actually made enough money to buy themselves a whole house. Yeah. Like a real house with that money that was getting poured into them. I'm sorry, but when you see $400,000 in your account, and they never seen that before, I'm sorry, they're going to think that's the move. Because why? Okay, yes, we are at home. Maybe when things opened up, I don't know if it went higher or lower. I can't call it, right? But to them, they thought that was, at this moment, this is all I have. Some of them, clearly, you can tell by certain interviews, I know the ones I've seen, I saw certain women did not think further than, I got to buy a bag or a car. I'm like, that's all you think about, shorty? And you know what? To Paul's point about, or even your point earlier, yeah, we can't distinguish their ages. Sometimes when you look at a certain female, you be like, damn, how old are you? Because, you know, a 21-year-old can look like an 18-year-old. Or a 40-year-old can look like a 21-year-old. You just don't know. And the thing is, some of them don't look past the month, the year, 2 years, 5 years. Some of them could have had all that money, put it to the side, and invested in bigger and better things. Some of them didn't. Now, yes, they have to go back into the workforce. That's why I asked Paul earlier.
Well, not everybody, because that's what I was going to say. The thing is, it's the nudity. So no pornography, no nudity. So those that...
If I was subscribed, I ain't doing that.
But I'm saying, there are some women that were doing it in bikinis or dresses, showing outfits and things like that. And they had some people subscribing too.
Listen,
they're going to still be all right.
I'm tired of this conversation.
Well, are they?
Listen,
because you can still kind of...
Well, as of now, they're saying whatever's not... Was it NSFW, not safe for work? Which is nudity. They're saying nudity, pornography. They're saying that.
But even women in scantily, you know...
Well, that could be the next thing, because Instagram does that. Instagram is very picky about, don't show this, but don't show that. We flagging you for that. So, and that's why I said it could be a trickle, because same thing like I said with YouTube. Their rules say one thing, but then later on, like I said, it was an old video that got flagged. So I'm like, I haven't even looked. I don't even know what's on there. Like, so that's what I'm saying. As of now, they're saying no nudity.
If you look at those pictures, some pictures. Some will show very, very clear.
Some blur it, some try to hide it, some put it up there until it gets reported, or
some don't, some do. Bro, I'm just
OnlyFans gonna do the same thing.
If you don't tell these people your OnlyFans page so they can subscribe to your shit,
look,
why you have October?
You only got 1 month left. Support me at Linden_woodworking.
He gonna show you how his wood works.
Right
After 11 p.m. on live.
So